We did nothing wrong!
Yeah, we did. We were supposed to fight for people who couldn't fight for themselves.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And the King James Version correctly translates that Hebrew term mirachefet as moved. Viruach Elohim mirachefet al panei hamayim. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And culturally speaking, linguistically speaking, the Hebrew backdrop here is in the sense of soaring like an eagle over the face of the waters. Hebrew being a very action-oriented language, as the King James Version translators understood well. However, the NIV, the LSB, and the ESV use the word hover, and the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. But that isn't saying enough. Hovered is a rather stagnant, stale, inactive term, a term of really nothingness, kind of like the statue of Rodin in Paris where the guy sits around and thinks all day and doesn't get anything done. I mean, it's one thing to sit around and dialogue and write books and write all about the nuances of the hermeneutics, and there's tremendous treasures in these books. Volumes have been written on biblical hermeneutics, folks, and we're not dismissing it all. However, it's not enough to just write about it, and it's not a priority to write about it or to dialogue about it in comparison to how much of a priority it is to actually do it and live it. And the Hebrew community and Jewish community are very practical in that sense. The rabbis were more concerned, and Jesus was a rabbi, John the Baptist was a rabbi, Paul was a rabbi. They were more concerned with finding out what God wants them to do and doing it than to sit around and dialogue and try to figure out all the mysteries, etc. All good stuff to consider in its proper place. But far more important is it to be, as James says in James chapter 1 verse 23, a doer of the word and not just a hearer. And so what's more practical is, once you know, or we know what we're supposed to do, take action on it. The Spirit of God moved as if to soar like an eagle over the face of the water. Action. First couple chapters of Job, God tells Satan, you move me to destroy him without a cause. In Matthew, Jesus was moved with compassion for the people. Action oriented. It's not enough to sit around like the stupid statue and ponder and think. You have to put action to those thoughts, or those thoughts mean absolutely nil. Niente, nothing. And so, once again, the King James translators are correct in their translation, and they cover the full sense of the Hebrew linguistic background. And so, with that said, have a blessed day. Lehitraot. Until we meet again, Shalom Aleichem, peace be unto all of you.